I've been getting some composting questions lately, and it seems that there's some confusion over vermicomposting versus thermophilic composting. So with the vermicomposting, we want to use the worms, and specifically composting worms, not earthworms, in an environment that is secure and special for them. So you only want to use like kitchen compost, kitchen scraps, and not every kitchen scrap either. You don't want to put any protein in there or fats or oils. You don't really want to put in avocados. You certainly don't want to put in any citrus or onions. So just the things that, think about what's easy for you to digest. And that will be good for the worms. And you can find lots of resources online. But for this video, I just wanted to tell you that vermicomposting is very specific for that high nitrogen, high water-based food scraps that you produce in your kitchen. That goes in your worm bin. You don't want to put your worms out into the larger thermophilic compost pile where you put all of your yard scraps. For instance, leaves, grass clippings, twigs, branches. Those have to go into a large pile, usually a 3 foot by 3 foot, and it needs to be monitored and turned. And the thing about a thermophilic pile is that it heats up. It gets very hot in the center, up to like 160 degrees. If you put your worms in there, they're gonna bake, so they're not gonna make it. So you don't want to cross the two types of composting. There are thermophilic bacteria that love working in those high heat temperatures, and your compost pile in the yard, in the larger environment, it has different layers to it. So the outer layer is going to be much cooler than the inner layer. So please keep the two systems separate. And it's good to have two different types of compost, because the large compost pile is going to give you really great compost for around your perennials and your ornamentals, while the worm bin is going to give you worm tea, very nutrient dense, very bioavailable food for your plants. And I like to use those for my food plants or for my tender, more tender plants that are more high value, that I have to keep a closer eye on for their production and protection. So, and also the compost that comes out of there, out of the worm bin, it's really high in nutrition, and it's good to go around your high value plants, more delicate plants. So keep them separate. If you have any questions, let me know. There's a ton of resources, but definitely understand it's two very different types of composting, and actually you need both.